Okay, this is Daytona USA on the Sega Saturn, and it's a game that I've played in many different incarnations over the years, but this is the original Saturn version from '94, if I remember correctly. I think it was '95 when it came out in the UK. And this, well, Daytona USA, when I first played it in the arcade, it was the game that made me want to buy a Saturn. And I remember playing it in, where was it? It was probably a macro, just after the Saturn came out, and I was quite disappointed with it. So the idea was that this port was released a little bit too early because the Saturn was released early to compete with the PlayStation. But I thought that the frame rate and pop-up were really bad, and I just ignored it. And later on I ended up buying the Championship Circuit Edition, which is the version I've probably played a lot more. And I got this version a week ago. I picked it up fairly cheap, and just after that Sega Bits did a video in the week about the same game, and the one thing he mentioned was how good the handling is, and I think that's something I didn't quite realise until recently. The later editions of the game, which is what I'll focus on later in the week, is, well, it handles differently, and I think that's why I've not really enjoyed it as much as the arcade original. But having played this game again, the handling is really good, and it seems a lot more fun than either the Championship Circuit Edition or the Dreamcast game, because the kart just seems to stay on the tracks a lot better than those versions. But I think the thing that's quite nice is, looking at it now, the frame rate isn't great and the pop-up's not great, but in hindsight every Saturn game looks old compared to, you know, modern games, because it's an older machine. You know, and that's true for the PlayStation as well. They look grainy and blocky, and so it's not a big deal now. And you know, you've got a 15-20 frames a second frame rate. It's a retro console, you can live with it. But the handling really is a lot of fun, and it feels just like the arcade game, and it's got the music and everything from that. I can't remember if the Dreamcast one did. I know that Mr. Big did the... Or was it the guitarist for Mr. Big? I forget his name now. Did the music for the Championship Circuit Edition. And it's quite nice, but it's different than the original. I think I've lost this. Oh no. Yeah. Let's see if I can win this. I don't think I will. I'm position 13th out of 20, so I think no chance. I'm playing it in arcade mode rather than Saturn mode, so you've got the time. That's unfair. Okay, so I decided to put the third track on. I'm not really a fan of the first one, the Oval. I find it a bit boring, and it's one that I very rarely come back to. So I thought I'll just do the second and the third track because they're a bit more interesting. Whoa, what's that car doing? Yeah, the machine really is struggling with this. I put it in the pit. Didn't want to do that. There's not really much of a point in the game. I think if you're driving badly enough that you're wrecking the car and you need to go in the pits, you're not going to win. So it's a weird thing that's in a lot of these Sega games, and they never really get used. Okay. Yeah, I've had to turn the music down because of, you know, the copyright thing and all that. It's a shame because in the game you can't set independent music and sound volumes, so you're not getting that much sound, fortunately. You used to be able to make, is it Jeffrey, the Virtua Fighter character on the statue? You used to be able to make him dance if you hold down, I think it's the X button, when you drive up to him. I'm not doing very well. I usually play in the in-car view. There you go, horses. Yeah, I usually play in this view, but yeah, it's not the... It's quite difficult to watch this view when someone else is playing it, so I'll I'll do this one. Yeah, the controls on the Championship Circuit Edition are kind of weird, because the best way to go around corners is to hold accelerate and brake at the same time, which is really unnatural. In a rallying game that's okay because you get left foot braking, but in anything else it just seems weird. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it's kind of odd. The mechanics are weird. It's almost like power sliding, but not quite. It's not like Ridge Racer. I like Ridge Racer. I just don't like the power sliding. I find it a little bit uncontrollable because the car just lunges around once it goes out the power slide. But then again, it's almost the opposite. If you hold down A, or is it A and B, or no, circle and X, so accelerate and brake, should have just said that the first time, then it stops you power sliding, but it makes the game really kind of weird. Waffling. Yeah, it would have been nice if this game had come out on the 32X. I know it's a bit of like a pipe dream, but it'd have been nice, because there was a rumour in CVG magazine, and I covered this on an earlier video. It's a complete myth that if you get the 32X version of Virtual Racing, then if you put it in two-player mode and drive to a hidden bit on the second track, then you can spell out the letters Daytona. It's fiction, but the idea would be that you get like a polygonal version of the Daytona tracks, and I'm thinking, why didn't they just do that? You could have cut the number of polygons down and made it in the Virtual Racing style, but I'm sure that would have sold machines. Although I think by that point the 32X was it was a stopgap anyway, which is a shame because it was quite a capable machine. Yeah, the car's starting to bob up and down. I think I might have wrecked it. It's still handling okay. Right, I'll leave it there. So this is Daytona USA on the Saturn, and this is the original arcade conversion. And it's really good. It plays really well. Despite having all the graphical glitches, I think given it's been nearly 20 years, who cares? It's a good game. Right, so thanks for watching.